Hey everybody, Cooper here from Dreamful Games. I'm doing a series on YouTube interviewing the team members, and today we've got Janna here. She's the narrative story designer. So you want to say hello, Janna?
Hi, everyone.
All right. So the first question we've got is, where are you from? Where are you based?
Okay, I'm based in the Netherlands, which is also where our office and home base is. Yeah, near Utrecht, which is like in the middle of the country. And currently, I'm at home, not in our office. So,
Sorry,
yeah,
how do you pronounce that?
Utrecht.
I'm not even going to try it. I'm going to butcher that really bad.
I mean, I think in English people call it Utrecht,
Utrecht.
so that
Okay.
might be,
Yeah.
yeah, that might be
That's a
easier.
bit more simple. Nah.
Yeah, because of the G's, right, that we use.
Yeah, it's a bit different there. Anyway,
Yeah.
no, that's cool. So I know I mentioned it earlier, but what is your role? What does it involve?
Yeah, so I'm the narrative designer at Dreamfuel, and that involves anything that has to do with lore and lore-based text within our game. So I write the stories, write the backgrounds, yeah, anything that's based on the world building, just the world building in general, but also world building aspects that needs to be built into the, like, implemented into the game.
Yep. Oh, so it's a very important role overall. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. No, because you got
Yeah,
to have a
yeah,
good
it's
story to a game, don't you? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you need to have something to relate to, and that makes you come back and think like, oh, is there more to this? And yeah, it's just an extra incentive to play and continue playing for sure for replayability as well sometimes.
yep. No, very, very, very important there. Um, so, how did you actually become a narrative designer or the designer at Dreamfuel?
Oh gosh. Okay, those are two separate questions. The To answer the first one in short is I had a rough going in high school. I was bullied a lot, so I used to play a lot of video games.
Hmm.
And that was kind of my escape. And I've been playing video games since like a very young age because I have an older brother who was basically addicted for a while. Um, but I was old enough eventually to discover that, of course, there's stories and everything, and in these stories, you're the hero or you're the anti-hero or whatever. Just interesting stuff. And growing up, I realized this is what I want to do because I could forget about everything. It was escapism for me, but in a healthy way. So that's what I wanted to do. And it took me a while to apply to the HKU, which is a uni here in Utrecht.
Yep.
Um, and I studied game design there with a focus on narrative design, which is also where I met Sander, one of our bosses
Oh
and
wow.
creative. So we've been friends for, oh my God, when was this? 2015. We've been friends since September, August 2015, and we both dropped out at some point. And it was December of last year when he approached me like, hey, we're still looking for a narrative designer. I know what you can do. I trust you. Would you be interested in the job? And it took me a little while to mull it over. um, because I was back in uni at that point. Um, but I wasn't happy there. It just didn't, it wasn't working for me.
Mm.
So I spoke with some of my teachers, with my friends, with my parents, and yeah, in the end, I just decided to go for it, just do it, and here I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's more about who you know than what you know sometimes, isn't it? From the sounds of that. I mean, obviously you know it a lot, but you also know Sander to get into the role in the first place. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, network is very important for sure. But also I do feel that skill and knowledge on your particular area is also very important
yep,
because if he and I didn't trust in my skills in this field, then he wouldn't have put his trust in me to do this for his company because it's
yep,
still a company that needs to
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
be run properly.
hmm yeah,
So
I
yeah,
agree.
I think it's a 75-25% on skills versus your network as well.
Yeah, no, good point. Um, This kind of might cross over a little bit, but it's what are your favorite things about narrative design? You mentioned that it was an escape for you and whatnot.
Hmm. Oh, my favorite things. I think it's in general just a really nice way to be able to deal with certain stuff. Um, 'Cause there's so many different aspects that yeah, that happen. Because first of all, it's just nice to be writing and getting these stories out there and getting people excited for stuff. But it's also a connection that they can create. You know, I
Mm.
made a lot of friends because I've been a huge fan of the Borderlands series my whole life. And I've made a lot of friends who were also a fan of it or who I got hooked on it too. And then there's just a lot of aspects in game that you can recognize yourself into as a player. So it can also make you feel not so alone in finding that connection with the community, which is just like the community that we created with Infinity Skies as well.
Yeah,
So I think it's a sense of community building as well, which is always really nice to make people not feel so alone.
yeah, that's actually a great answer. That's really good. That's really insightful, actually. Wow.
Thanks.
That's good. So now I'm going to move on to a bit more about the NFT side of stuff. So, have
Right.
you? Well, it's not going to be that in depth, but have you been involved on any other NFT projects or even games? Whether that's working for them or just like investing or buying into.
Uh, Sadly, I have not.
No. Oh
This
wow.
is my first professional project overall. And also, as a student, you get enough money from the like you loan you get enough of a loan from the government to pay your house and pay your food and pay your college tuition,
In
but
the
not really to
Netherlands.
do anything else much with it. Yeah,
I should move to the Netherlands. Far out. That sounds brilliant.
I mean, do come hang out.
Far
Weather's not
out.
that great, but you know,
Yeah, it's a bit warmer in Australia here, so
yeah.
yeah.
But
No.
yeah, that's so I was never able to really invest. I'm also not a great I'm not good at saving money.
Oh no.
So I was
Oh
never able
wow.
to save up some money to invest in stuff like that. So the answer, no.
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 Fair enough. Um
Yeah.
Now this is another one that's probably fairly open. So how do NFT games generally differ from the traditional games that you like to play, at least? How do you think?
How do I think? Oh, I still need to get a crash course on the whole NFT blockchain thing
Hmm.
for from Sonder and everything. But I do think that due to you having actually invested real world money into an NFT or an NFT game, the stakes are a lot higher. So
Mm-hmm.
they're not necessarily as much of a leisure game as some people can uh, see it more as a business transaction. I think it's
Yeah.
more on the business side
Mm-hmm.
of games instead of like actually something you do for leisure and to relax and
Yeah, that's
because I'm
actually
assuming it's always going to be at the back of your head if your investment is going to pay off at some point.
yes, yes. No, you're actually really really spot on the money there. I even I've found that myself. Like I'll if I really like a game, I'll just play it leisurely. But
Yeah,
with other games, with NFT games, you constantly have that thing in the back of your head that is just ticking and wondering what's going on. So yeah, you make a really good
yeah.
point there as well. So um, but yeah, so next question I've got is what have you designed or made in Infinity Skies so far, and if you can share
Oh,
that,
ooh.
or is this a bit?
Um, yeah. It's let me think. What I can say is that the lore and narrative for Infinity Sky exists in like two different aspects for the most part. We have an aspect of how the universe was created, what's happening in there, and what is based on the actual planes that exist within Infinity Sky. Because there's four different planes, and one of them is an earthly realm, um, which is the first thing you'll kind of get a sense of when the Infinity Skies first launches.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I
Cool.
think that's vague enough to still give you an impression, but not
Yeah.
give away too
Yeah.
much.
It's vague, but yeah. Like you said, it's
Yeah,
vague, but
you'll learn soon. Like you'll learn soon more,
yeah.
a little bit.
Awesome. No, that's all I wanted to hear because I have no idea, honestly. So I'm very excited to see what's going on. um, the next
I'll
one.
give you a sneak peek after the interview.
Oh, okay. Watch out. uh, nah. So the next one I've got here is how do you plan to be constantly innovative and bring like some amazing stories to the game?
Yeah. Oh, I think planning is a very, mm, let's say it's an interesting word to use because it's very tough to plan on something like this, especially with the game industry itself constantly releasing stuff. So many indie companies
Mm.
releasing stuff, triple A's, of course. Um, so I think what is a good way to go is repertoire research, which means you're constantly looking up like, hey, what's being released, what has been done so far, and how can we um, improve on that or add.
Mm.
Improve sounds a bit harsh. Um, Add our own like spice to it. How can we add that Dream Fuel spice and Infinity Skies spice to the mixture of what already exists?
Yep.
Um, and based on especially one part of our narrative, which I was talking about earlier, we are doing a lot of regular research revolving around mythology and history from a particular era. So it's very much a mixture of that repertoire research as well as just your regular research in into history, into mythology, into stuff like that.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, what I also like to do is just put pieces of myself in the lore, stuff that I went through, but mystify
Oh.
them a little bit more and
Yeah.
exaggerate
Okay.
them a little bit more. Because I also feel that really helps people connect to a story,
Yep.
because there will be some sort of element that they will connect to. Like, hey, I experienced this in some sort of way as well. Like that same feeling I understand. So that
Yep.
really makes people more involved and interested in the stories and lore and narrative that we create.
No, that's great. So like, are you with your research? Are you like looking at more medieval times? Is that a assumption that I can make, or is it is
Yeah.
it other? Yeah, because I feel like castles has to be medieval, surely. So
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, we're looking into more medieval history, but not just centered around European medieval times, but also yeah, from all around the globe. What was
Yep.
happening there? What were the styles then? How did people live, and how can we uh, dream fuel it? Let me say it that
Yeah,
way.
that's a good way to put it. Dream fuel. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nah.
let's dream fuel it.
No, that's awesome.
So,
So, um,
yeah.
I have the next one. I think you've probably already answered, but where does your inspiration for your work come from? So you kind of said your own, your own experiences and trying to relate it
Mhm.
back to people. So, is there anything else you
Yeah.
can expand on there?
Um, well, it's that even though I'm 26, I've been through quite a bit of um how
Ups
do I
and
say this
downs.
nicely? Yeah.
Ups and
Yeah, let's
downs.
say it
Yeah.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that really helps, but also just I love reading lore. I love
Mm.
mythology. I love like Nordic mythology. I love Greek mythology. So I love reading up on that. I love anything that has to do with the paranormal. I love everything that has to do with magic and witchcraft and stuff like that. So it's just very much and existing works, of course. I mean, think about a Tolkien. Think about, even though let's just say Harry Potter, if we don't like to talk about the writer anymore. um, but yeah, I love stuff like that. So it also really inspires me, but also relaxes me for a bit.
Yep.
Um, It really gives me that moment to breathe and just sink into something else that's not my work, but still at the same time kind of inspires me. And yeah, I also really like horror, but I don't assume we're doing anything with horror.
No, I maybe in the actual game, when you're in the dungeons, it
Yeah,
gets a
we're not
bit
gonna Stephen
spooky.
King
But
anything. So
no, no. Oh wow, no. No, that's good. It gives it gives me a bit more insight into what you're thinking, what's going on. So yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
The next one I've got is: are there any story plots that you can, share? Maybe not full story plots, but
Mhm.
maybe something that the viewers could, be excited for. That's not giving away too
Right.
much.
Yeah. Oh, I think I can say that, well, you've heard me talk about mythology a lot. So
Hmm.
we have our own mythology within the game, which means obviously that there are gods and different kinds of gods, also different generations of gods, who all play a different role within the Infinity Skies and its stories. So, um, oh, what can I say? What can I say? Oh God, I don't want to spoil anything. It's a hard question. But yeah, there's just a bunch of gods, which means there's going to be a lot of different sagas. There's going to be a lot of different stories and perspectives that we will be telling over
Yep.
the course of the Infinity Skies run, release, etc.
Yep.
I
So
hope that was a little bit of insight.
it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, I understand. You got to be vague, so it's all right.
Hmm.
I've got like the next one. I kind of already asked in a sense, but it's how do you plan on developing these story plots and making them
Hmm.
something unique to Infinity Skies?
Um, the thing is that we and I'm saying we because I am not the sole person
Mm-hmm.
working on this.
Yep.
I work together with Sander and I work together with Micah, our lead game designer,
Yep.
on these stories. I come up with the general plot lines and then we go over them, have a little bit of a brainstorm, and go on from there. Um, so, oh God, I'm sorry. What was the question?
No, it's fine. It's just how do you plan on developing, those story plots and making them, unique and like really quite special.
Yeah. Yeah, because what I mentioned is that I'm not working alone, but also within Dream Fuel, we have a very open feedback cycle, which is very nice. So even the people who are in our art department and everything can look into the stories that are being created and giving me and us feedback on them. Um, they are allowed to send us some ideas if they're like, hey, maybe this can work, maybe this is interesting. So we really are creating something that is our own because it is unique to our team,
Yep.
um, which is just super nice because every artist, and I'm an artist too, of course,
Yep.
gets a creative block, which is annoying.
Mm.
But it's just so nice to have that big cycle of feedback from everyone that it can
Yep.
really help you um, get a different perspective on your story, or just get a completely new idea of where the story can go, which will always have many twists and turns in that regard. Um, yeah.
No, that's fine. No, that's good. Yeah. So, the next one I've got is: what excites you the most about Infinity Skies? Is it like the story, or is it the gameplay, or is it the NFT stuff, or something else completely?
I think the main thing that excites me about Infinity Skies is that we're just creating something very different from what
Hmm.
is already out there in regard to NFT games, which the lore, of course, very much helps on, but also it's been on the roadmap, so people have seen it. Is the adventure mode that's going to
Yep.
be coming hopefully in 2023.
Yep.
um, which will show these different aspects and all the different types of talent that Dream Fuel has to offer, which
Yes.
is amazing. We have an awesome team. It's
Yeah. I agree.
incredible.
I agree. We
Um,
have a very extensive team that's very very talented. So I'm very excited
it's
about it
yeah.
personally. And like you were saying, I'm the adventure mode. That's something that I've been looking forward to personally because I'm a massive gamer and that's what I want to play. I want to get into that and go for it. So yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome because it's also gonna give you uh, a different perspective on what Infinity Skies is and also how this world exists because it's gonna show off a completely different element of the narrative, which is really nice.
yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
I'm
I'm
so
very
excited.
excited for all of that.
It's going to be great, and I really hope the viewers and the investors and players really like it as well. So yeah, so I'm very
Yeah,
excited as well.
same.
Um, so next one, I think you will probably be quite passionate about. How far do you think the Infinity Skies narrative can go, and what are the most important aspects of the plot line?
Ooh, I feel like I've been breathing in a lot. I'm sorry, guys.
That's fine.
I'm just a bit nervous
That's all right.
still. Um, I think the narrative is already, for what it is, quite extensive, and we're not even halfway with the development of it.
Far out. Okay.
So, yeah, there's a lot already set. There's a lot we still are working out, which is really nice. So I think that the narrative can go insanely far, especially once adventure mode launches. And with each new season that will be coming out, there will be new pieces of the lore available on both aspects. So I'm just very excited to get it out there to everyone and have them experience it and see what they think and how they feel about it. And yeah, it's extensive so far, and it's gonna get even more lavish and grand. And
Yeah. It'd be great.
yeah.
I can't wait. So the next question I have is: are there any other new releases happening at Infinity Skies, and what other players and investors have to look out for?
Ooh, we had our retrospective yesterday, and what I've learned is that there will be land sales finally coming soon. These land sales will be for the VIP members first, because they have been waiting the longest so far, because sadly we had to postpone that. So I know that's going to happen. And then in September, we'll have our first launch, which means that also our first season of NFTs will launch, which all will finally have descriptions as well. And within those descriptions, there will be little pieces of lore about the world around you, so people can pick away at that already by then, which will
Yep.
be very nice.
Yep. Awesome. No, be very good to have the land sales out finally because I know lots of people have been waiting for them, and yeah, should be
Yeah,
good. Um,
yeah.
so the question that I thought of just before was, you said that there will be like periodic releases, I guess, with each season. So could we
Hmm.
expect like something like similar to Fortnite, if you know how that works? Because each season they have a release, they'll have like a new
Hmm.
storyline and new missions to complete. Is that kind of what we're going for here, or is it a bit different?
Um, I don't know how much I can say from that. So we'll have to ask Sander as well about
Yep.
this. But for each season, there will be a new set of NFTs that are launched. And yeah, you could say it's kind of like a Fortnite or an Apex. Like I play Apex myself,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
there's season there too, of course. Um, so yeah, little bits and pieces of lore will be released. Little bits and pieces of lore will be continued from the season prior to that, and especially um, once the adventure mode launches, there will be new lore in that for sure, which will give people a clearer view on what's happening and what's happened before. And um, sagas and all that. So that
Yep. No, awesome.
yeah, there will be just loads of new continuous content.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think that's what we want to see. You don't want the game getting stale. You want to see lots and lots of new
No,
things
you want to
coming
keep it
in.
fresh and
Absolutely.
interesting, and
Yep,
for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, well, that's the end of my questions. So unless you've got anything else to add, we can probably end it there. And
I think, why am I sighing so much? I'm so sorry.
it's all right.
Um, there's just a lot of exciting stuff happening. We're working on a lot of exciting stuff behind the scenes, and it's coming out sooner rather than later. So everyone should keep an eye out for that, and I hope you'll enjoy what's going to get out there.
Yep. Awesome. That's a good
Yeah.
way to finish it. So, well, that's it from us, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed the first interview episode. Thank Janna for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
yeah, and I'll yeah, we'll keep in touch, and hopefully we can maybe have you
Yeah.
on in the future when things get a bit more settled. Would be cool to update this. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I'd love that. Thank you
Awesome.
too.
All right. See you guys. Have a good one.